Hey everybody, it's Tripl-L coming in to talk about Higehiro, the anime about a guy who takes in a teenage girl. That teenage girl is having a rough time at life for reasons that we have yet to understand, most likely very dramatic, and the guy is being the best guy in the world by not taking advantage of her and giving her a safe place to be at. It is a wonderfully ideal anime, a rom-com. There is probably a particular ending that we are going towards, but maybe something else happens. Regardless, here we are. Higehiro. I've watched episodes 1 to 5. I have my thoughts. Overall, I gotta say, I think it's cute. I think it's a really cute anime, and I think there's another anime this season. I forgot what it's called. But between those two anime, really, Higehiro is it's a much more respectable one, because at least in Higehiro the main character is a respectable guy. I mean, especially with episode 3, yeah, you take away that this guy is respectable, and when you have a respectable character, it's a lot easier to root for them. But yeah, no, overall, for the 5 episodes, I've really enjoyed it. I think I'm gonna keep watching it. I think it's a light novel that was adapted into manga and now being adapted into an anime. If anyone's wondering. I find it to be pretty. I find it to be pretty fair. For a rom-com, I have no real problems with it. I'm not sure if I would call it a harem. Like, technically, there's multiple female love interests, so it could kind of be a harem in that way. But otherwise, in the 5 episodes I've watched, I have not regretted anything. And in terms of criticisms, they're not very serious. Maybe like criticisms towards execution, but otherwise not very serious. There's more good here than there is bad, and even with characters that are pretty bad on paper, don't really mind, because I think it's kind of intentional that they look kind of bad on paper. There's nothing here that makes me question the story's ability or the direction of the story or anything like that. I should have said the storyteller's ability here. But just give a quick rundown. Episode 1 was the introduction episode that just kind of established this guy was a good guy and that Sayu was a runaway that she needed a break. Episode 2 was my note here was Boss Lady Goto is the worst type of person. So episode 2 was, I think, where this girl comes in and she's giving the guy a little bit more attention after, he's been rejected by her. Although I'm not gonna lie, my opinion on Goto kind of changes later. Because in episode 2, I thought she was being the worst type of person, but then in episode 3, 4, and 5, it's like, well, I don't know. Like, I have my note for episode 4, Goto is super the worst, is what I would have said. But then I don't know, like, maybe she's just being very cautious about this whole situation, but at the same time, it's like, maybe you could have taken a chance on him. Maybe you didn't have to be such a manipulative person, and I'm quick to forgive. I'm not gonna lie, I'm very biased here. Maybe I'm not the best person to trust on this one, but I like my little progression there. But of the 5 episodes, I think episode 3 is probably the best, because episode 3 was just aggressive. It made me feel very uncomfortable, because episode 3 wasn't ready for that open. I wasn't ready to see the reality of what was going on with Sayu's situation. Was not into it, and then towards the end of the episode, you have Sayu making him uncomfortable, and I felt really good because I was as uncomfortable as the main character was with her coming onto him like that. So I think in terms of just making that an uncomfortable situation, I think the anime did really, really well, both with the cold open and then with what happened later on. Solid stuff. Really cannot understate that anymore. I have a funny comment for episode 3 though. It's specifically, episode 3 revolves around the idea that he's not really getting anything out of Sayu being there. And I just was looking at it, it's like, not getting anything? You do the chores for free. People pay helpers to do that. So that was what I found that funny. Because maybe from a teenager's perspective, you would think doing the chores isn't that big of a deal because it's expected of a teenager to do chores if you're in a particular kind of household. But as an adult, someone doing the chores for free? Are you kidding? Even the birds agree. What? And I don't have to pay money? And mind you, actually, I'll keep that point for later. But it's still, I just found that funny. I know that the story's saying that he's getting nothing free, and like it does revolve around a lot about these advantages and disadvantages, pros and cons to have the pros and cons of having her there, but at the same time, it's like the chores being done. You have no idea, bruh. If I had someone doing the chores for free, I get like 3 hours of my day back. That would be amazing. No, I found that funny. And then episode 5. This is the most recent episode. Episode 4 would have been Goto talking about how she actually always liked this guy or whatever, but she didn't want to get with him because she didn't feel it was the right time. Talking about her intuition, whatever. It's nice. It's nice that she likes him, I guess, but still, at the same time, what you're pretty much saying is that you like him, but you know he's not good enough for you. That's essentially what Goto was saying. Mind you, like she might say later, like, oh, I don't think he would actually say yes to me, which is like, okay, but no, it's more of a, you only came on to him after you saw that he got his life together. You know, the easy thing would be, why weren't you the one to make his life? Why weren't you the one to make him get his life together, right? Why did you wait for someone else to do it and then you come in and swoop up her results, kind of thing? So you can still paint Goto to be a pretty negative, or you can paint her to be in a negative here, and I think I would largely agree. With her, you know, like at the end of the day, she rejected him because she didn't think he was good enough for her in spite of her feelings. That's probably the nicest interpretation you can have for the character. Is it fair? He wasn't good enough for her? Yeah, I mean, there's no, that's essentially what it comes off as, because of the fact that she comes to him after he's cleaned up and she can note that he's cleaned up. Yeah. I think that's probably the fairest, one of the kindest interpretations you can have for the character. But yeah, episode 5 was just Goto meeting. I wonder if I got the sequence correct here. Apologies if I got the sequence of episodes wrong, because it's just kind of blurring together. But episode 5 was Goto meeting Sayu. I thought that was very fine. I thought it was an interesting conversation. I did go to the manga just to reread very quickly. I understand the point of the conversation. She's saying, like, look, as long as you are still thinking about the future, you're thinking about what your next move is going to be after you leave here, as long as you're not going to be out and dry, it's all good. And I think Goto appreciates that the guy, Yoshida, is in fact a nice person. So that was all good. Now, I do have quite a few comments here, and it's specifically with that coworker, because throughout the 5 episodes, you can clearly tell the coworker likes him. That's not even a question mark. And she goes and she talks about how she followed this guy because she saw him leaving the office with their overall boss, the managing director. And I'm just thinking, like, oh my gosh, you were such a stalker. Thank God she apologizes for being such a stalker. But as I looked at her, I was just thinking, you know, that is not, I don't know, maybe there's a particular kind of fan that would think, oh my god, I wish that was me, I wish I had a girl stalking me like that. But legit, this is probably like one of the worst people to have to get involved with, because she's got the energy of someone that would poke holes in a condom just to make it so you get her pregnant and then you're stuck with her for life, just to trap you in a toxic relationship. Like, she's the kind of person that would be lighting up your phone when you take an hour too long to reply to their text messages. She's the kind of person that wakes you up at 3 in the morning asking why you didn't text her good night. No, man, like, come on. This girl followed him out of the office, followed him down the train station enough to know that he was, like, the boss came off of his train stop, and then stayed outside of his house waiting to engineer a situation where they could talk. And then she complains that he's hiding stuff from her. And it's like, bruh, listen, you're just a coworker. Holy crap moly. You're a coworker that has relatively bad code. Like, what the heck, man? Nah, man, nah. You know, in the box of a rom-com, this might be okay, but it's a little bit too much. She is clingy to the max. Come on, this would not be good in practice. Are you? Nah. Like, the big thing is, like, how she complains at him hiding stuff from her. He doesn't owe her anything. Whatever he owes to her is limited to their relationship as co-workers. That's it. I don't even know how much they know each other. Yeah, nah. Like, yeah, they've gone to a movie before, but nah, man. Nah. That was funny. but that's kind of pointing you in what kind of direction you're going in with the rom-com. They're gonna have like over dramatic situations like that. To me, honestly, looks like it was just drumming up drama. All I take away from that is that that girl is really maladjusted, and not Sayu. Sayu is a whole other thing, but the co-worker maladjusted. I feel bad, but I want the viewers to know this is not what a good relationship is built on. Not this. If they're capable of this in real world, this doesn't usually end well. Please take my word for it. But otherwise, for episode 5, oh no, you know what? Episode 5 has after the credit scene where it shows a particular guy, and it looks like this guy's gonna be annoying because it looks like it's the guy from episode 3 in the cold open. That took advantage of Sayu and kicked her out when, you know, it was not going well or whatever, or when like she was too much of a pain. And I'm just thinking, oh, this is gonna be so annoying. And I really hope there's not gonna be some kind of moral grandstanding, because I'm already thinking like how annoying it's gonna be if this guy tries to make the main character, I think his name is Yoshida, feel lesser. And it's like, main character, don't fall for it. If this guy's gonna be annoying, don't fall for it. You work as a programmer. You have enough of an income that you can afford to take care of a teenager. This guy works at a corner store. Please do not fall for the idea that you are somehow lesser than him. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to see what kind of moral grandstanding is going to happen. Because usually what happens is that when you have these kind of people popping up, they're there to cause drama. They're there to cause some kind of problem. They're there to make the character feel lesser, only for the character to like either have a conflict with it or, you know, like build himself back up. So I really hope that someone is able to just point out the elephant in the room, that Yoshida actually has a really good job. Just someone come out and point out that it's a guy in a corner store who is causing the drama. This isn't some kind of high school romance. This isn't some kind of high school parody. Where your job and your social status don't matter. These people are adults. This guy's a loser by all counts. This guy who would sleep with a minor is a loser. So I legitimately hope that we don't get into a position where it seems like the main character his worth is being questioned when compared to a guy that works in a corner store. Again, the amount of social power that the main character commands in the actual social hierarchy here, oh, that's gonna be funny. I'm actually very curious as to how that's gonna go down. But overall, Higehiro, yeah, I've found this to be really respectable. I've actually really enjoyed it, and props to good guy Yoshida. Oh man, I hope that's his name, man. Good props to him though. He's a good example. Good stuff. The birds agree. Anyway, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, I hope you have an absolutely great day.